Maya had always dreamed of studying different cultures, but she never imagined she would be traveling to another planet to do it. At 28 years old, she was one of the youngest scientists ever selected for the Interplanetary Cultural Exchange Program. Her hands were shaking as she packed her research equipment into the small travel case that would accompany her on the journey to Kepler 442b. The spaceship ride took 3 weeks, and Maya spent most of that time reading everything she could about the Zephyrians. These alien beings looked somewhat like humans but had beautiful blue skin that seemed to glow softly in certain light. Their hair moved like water, and they were known throughout the galaxy for their peaceful nature and complex ceremonies. When Maya finally arrived at the research station, she felt both excited and nervous. The station was a mix of human and alien technology, with curved walls that seemed to breathe and lights that changed color based on the time of day. Everything felt so different from Earth that Maya wondered if she had made the right choice in coming here. That's when she met Zara, her cultural guide. Zara was unlike anyone Maya had ever seen. Her skin had a soft blue glow, and her silver hair moved as if it were alive. But what struck Maya most was how kind Zara's eyes were. They were a deep purple color that seemed to hold endless wisdom and patience. "Welcome to our world," Zara said in perfect English, though her voice had a musical quality that made even simple words sound beautiful. "I know this must feel overwhelming, but I'm here to help you understand our ways." Maya felt immediately at ease with Zara. Over the first few days, Zara showed her around the Zephyrian city, which was built into the side of a crystal mountain. The buildings seemed to grow out of the rock itself, and gardens filled with glowing plants were everywhere. The Zephyrians they met were all friendly and curious about Maya, though they spoke in soft voices and moved with a grace that made Maya feel clumsy in comparison. "Your people seem so peaceful," Maya observed as they watched children playing in a park filled with floating flowers. Zara smiled. "We believe that harmony comes from understanding each other deeply. That's why our ceremonies are so important to us. They help us connect, not just with each other, but with the energy of life itself." Maya found herself fascinated by everything Zara told her. The Zephyrians had hundreds of different rituals for different occasions. Ceremonies for the changing, seasons, for welcoming new children, for honoring their ancestors, and for celebrating the bonds between people. Each ceremony had specific movements, words, and meanings that had been passed down for thousands of years. As the weeks passed, Maya and Zara spent more and more time together. Zara was patient with Maya's endless questions and never made her feel foolish when she struggled to understand a concept or accidentally broke a social rule. Maya began to look forward to their daily walks through the crystal gardens, where Zara would explain the meaning behind different plants and how they were used in various ceremonies. "On Earth, we have weddings and funerals and birthday parties," Maya said one day as they sat by a stream that sparkled with natural minerals. "But your ceremonies seem so much deeper, like they mean something beyond just celebrating an event." "That's because they do," Zara replied, her voice soft and thoughtful. "We believe that ceremonies create connections between souls. When we perform them correctly, with pure intention, they can bind people together in ways that last forever." Maya felt a strange flutter in her chest when Zara said this. She told herself it was just professional curiosity, but she couldn't deny that she was beginning to feel something special for her guide. Zara was intelligent, patient, and had a way of making even the most complex spiritual concepts seem understandable. Maya threw herself into her research, documenting everything she learned. She recorded hours of interviews with Zara and other Zephyrians, took detailed notes about their customs, and even learned some of their ancient language. Her supervisors back on Earth were thrilled with the quality of her reports. But as Maya learned more about Zephyrian culture, She began to realize how much she still didn't understand. Their concept of relationships was very different from human relationships. They didn't just fall in love. They believed in spiritual connections that were meant to last across multiple lifetimes. Their marriages weren't just legal contracts, but sacred bonds that joined two souls together permanently. "It sounds beautiful, but also terrifying," Maya admitted to Zara one evening as they watched the twin moons rise over the crystal city. "What if you choose the wrong person? What if the connection isn't real?" Zara was quiet for a long moment. "We believe that when the connection is real, you feel it in your soul. It's not something you have to think about or analyze. You just know." Maya felt her heart skip a beat, but she pushed the feeling aside. She was here as a scientist, not to get involved in alien romance. Still, she couldn't help noticing how comfortable she felt with Zara, how easy it was to talk to her about anything, and how much she looked forward to seeing her each day. After 2 months on Kepler 442b, Maya felt like she was beginning to truly understand Zephyrian culture. She had witnessed dozens of smaller ceremonies and had even been allowed to participate in some of the more public rituals. The Zephyrians had accepted her as an honorary member of their community, and Maya felt more at home on this alien world than she had ever expected. That's when Zara approached her with an incredible offer. "Maya," Zara said, her purple eyes shining with excitement, "the Council of Elders has decided to invite you to witness our most sacred ceremony. No outsider has ever been given this honor before." Maya's heart raced. "What kind of ceremony?" "The bonding of souls," Zara replied. "It's our most important ritual, performed only under the light of both moons when they are full. It creates the deepest connection possible between two beings." Maya felt like she had won the research lottery. This was exactly the kind of opportunity that could make her career. "When does it happen?" "Tomorrow night," Zara said. "But Maya, you must understand. This ceremony is sacred to us. You would need to participate respectfully, following our customs exactly. Are you willing to do that?" Maya didn't hesitate. "Of course. This is the opportunity of a lifetime." Zara smiled, but there was something in her expression that Maya couldn't quite read. "Then prepare yourself. Tomorrow night you will see something that few beings in the universe ever witness." As Maya went to bed that night, she felt excited and nervous. She had no idea that she was about to make a mistake that would change her life forever. She thought she was just going to observe a beautiful ceremony. She had no clue that by tomorrow night she would accidentally become part of something she never expected. Something that would force her to choose between the life she had always known and a future among the stars that she never could have imagined. The next evening arrived faster than Maya had expected. She spent the entire day feeling nervous butterflies in her stomach, checking and double-checking her recording equipment. This was the moment she had been working toward for months, the chance to witness and document the most sacred ceremony in Zephyrian culture. As the twin moons began to rise, Zara came to collect her. Maya had never seen her guide look so beautiful. Zara wore flowing robes made of a fabric that seemed to capture moonlight and hold it within its threads. Her silver hair was braided with tiny crystals that sparkled like stars, and her blue skin seemed to glow more brightly than usual. "Are you ready?" Zara asked, though her voice seemed different somehow. More formal, more serious than Maya was used to. "I think so," Maya replied, trying to calm her racing heart. "I've studied all the customs you taught me. I promise I'll be respectful." Zara smiled, but again Maya noticed that strange look in her eyes. Something Maya couldn't quite understand. "I know you will. Come, we must not be late." They walked together through the crystal city as the streets filled with other Zephyrians, all dressed in their finest ceremonial robes. Maya felt honored to be walking among them, but also very aware that she was the only human in the crowd. Some of the younger Zephyrians stared at her curiously, while the elders nodded respectfully as she passed. The ceremony was being held in the Grand Amphitheater, a massive structure carved directly into the crystal mountain. As they approached, Maya gasped in amazement. The entire amphitheater was glowing with soft, natural light that seemed to come from the crystal walls themselves. Hundreds of Zephyrians were already seated in curved rows that spiraled up the mountainside. "It's incredible," Maya whispered. Pulling out her recording device to capture the stunning sight, Zara gently touched her arm. "Please, no recordings during the ceremony itself. This is too sacred to be captured by machines. It must be experienced with the heart." Maya reluctantly put her device away, though part of her researcher mind protested. But she understood. Some things were too special to be studied from behind a camera lens. Zara led her to a special area near the center of the amphitheater. Maya was surprised to find that instead of sitting with the other observers, she was being positioned in what looked like the main performance area. "Wait," Maya said, suddenly feeling uncertain. "Should I be standing here? I thought I was just supposed to watch." "As our honored guest, you have a special role," Zara explained. "Don't worry, I'll guide you through everything. Just follow my movements and mirror what I do." The ceremony began with the most beautiful music Maya had ever heard. Zephyrians played instruments that looked like living crystals, creating sounds that seemed to resonate not just in the air, but in Maya's very bones. The music was hauntingly beautiful, like nothing that existed on Earth. As the music played, other Zephyrians began to enter the ceremony space. They moved in patterns that looked like a dance, but Maya could sense that every movement had deep meaning. Their robes flowed around them like liquid starlight, and their graceful movements told a story that Maya wished she could fully understand. "Now, we begin the sacred movements," Zara whispered to Maya. "Watch me carefully and do exactly as I do." Maya focused intently as Zara began a series of hand gestures. They were beautiful and flowing, like a dance performed only with the hands and arms. Maya did her best to copy each movement, though she felt clumsy compared to Zara's natural grace. The other Zephyrians began to chant in their ancient language. The words were musical and seemed to create harmony with the crystal instruments. Maya felt a strange warmth spreading through her body as the chanting continued. She had experienced this feeling before during some of the other ceremonies, but never this strongly. "What are they saying?" Maya whispered to Zara during a quiet moment. "They are calling upon the ancient spirits to witness and bless the bonding," Zara replied softly. "They are asking the universe to recognize the connection between souls." Maya nodded, though she still didn't fully understand what was happening. The ceremony was more intense and personal than she had expected. Instead of feeling like an observer, she felt like she was becoming part of something much bigger than herself. As the ceremony continued, Maya noticed that she and Zara seemed to be the center of attention. The other Zephyrians were forming circles around them, and their chanting was becoming more focused and directed. Maya began to feel a bit nervous. This wasn't what she had expected when Zara said she would be witnessing the ceremony. "Zara," Maya whispered, "why is everyone looking at us?" But Zara was deep in concentration, her eyes closed as she continued the ritual movements. Maya decided to trust her guide and keep following along, though her heart was beating faster with each passing minute. The ceremony reached a crescendo as the twin moons reached their highest point in the sky. The entire amphitheater was bathed in silver light that made everything look magical and otherworldly. Maya felt like she was in a dream. Then Zara opened her eyes and looked directly at Maya. "Now comes the most sacred part," she said, her voice barely audible over the chanting. "We must join hands and allow our energies to connect." Maya hesitated for just a moment. Something about this felt very intimate and personal, more than just observing a cultural ceremony. But she trusted Zara completely, and she didn't want to ruin this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity by backing out now. Maya reached out and placed her hands against Zara's palms. The moment their skin touched, something extraordinary happened. A warm, golden light began to glow between their joined hands, growing brighter and brighter until it illuminated both of their faces. Maya gasped in amazement. The light felt alive, pulsing with energy that seemed to flow back and forth between her and Zara. She had never experienced anything like it. The warmth spread up her arms and through her entire body, making her feel more connected to another being than she had ever thought possible. The crowd of Zephyrians erupted in joyous celebration. They threw flower petals that glowed like tiny stars, and their chanting turned into songs of happiness and blessing. Maya found herself smiling widely, caught up in the infectious joy of the moment. "That was incredible," Maya shouted to Zara, over the noise of the celebration. "I've never seen anything so beautiful." Zara smiled back at her, but there was something in her expression that looked almost like worry mixed with happiness. Before Maya could ask what was wrong, dozens of Zephyrians surrounded them, offering congratulations and blessings in their musical language. Maya accepted their kind words gracefully, even though she couldn't understand what they were saying. She assumed this was just how all their important ceremonies ended, with community celebration and joy. As the crowd began to disperse and the twin moons started to set, Maya felt exhausted, but exhilarated. She had just witnessed something truly magical, something that would probably be the highlight of her entire career. "Thank you," she said to Zara as they walked back toward the research station. "That was the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. I feel so honored that your people allowed me to be part of it." Zara was quiet for a long moment. "Maya," she finally said, "we need to talk tomorrow. There are some things about tonight that I need to explain to you." "What kind of things?" Maya asked. But Zara had already reached her dwelling and was saying goodnight. As Maya walked the rest of the way home alone, she replayed the entire ceremony in her mind. The music, the dancing, the incredible moment when the light appeared between her and Zara's hands. It had all been perfect. She couldn't wait to write up her research notes and share this experience with her colleagues back on Earth. She had no idea that tomorrow morning would bring the biggest shock of her life, and that the beautiful ceremony she had just participated in was going to change everything she thought she knew about her future. Maya woke up the next morning feeling like she was still floating from the magical ceremony the night before. The golden light between her and Zara's hands had been so beautiful that she had dreamed about it all night. She stretched happily in her bed, already planning how she would describe the experience in her research notes, but when she opened her door to get some breakfast, Maya stopped dead in her tracks. Her entire hallway was filled with gifts. Not just a few presents, but dozens and dozens of them. There were baskets overflowing with the most beautiful flowers she had ever seen. Flowers that seemed to glow with their own inner light. There were intricately woven blankets that felt softer than silk. There were pieces of jewelry made from crystals that sparkled like captured rainbows. "What in the world?" Maya muttered, stepping carefully through the maze of presents. Each gift had a small card attached, written in the flowing Zephyrian script that she was still learning to read. Maya picked up one of the cards and tried to sound out the words. From what she could understand, it seemed to be some kind of congratulations message. But congratulations for what? Had she done something special during the ceremony last night that she didn't realize? Feeling confused and a little overwhelmed, Maya decided to find Zara and ask her what was going on. She made her way through the Crystal City, noticing that every Zephyrian she passed seemed to be smiling at her more brightly than usual. Some of them even stopped to bow respectfully, which had never happened before. "This is getting really weird," Maya thought to herself, as an elderly Zephyrian woman pressed a beautiful flowering plant into her hands while saying something in their language that sounded very congratulatory. Maya found Zara in the central garden, but she wasn't alone. She was surrounded by at least 20 other Zephyrians, all talking excitedly and patting Zara on the shoulder in what looked like celebration. When they saw Maya approaching, they all turned to her with huge smiles and began speaking rapidly in their musical language. "Zara!" Maya called out, feeling more confused by the minute. "I need to talk to you. Something strange is happening and I don't understand what's going on." Zara looked up, and Maya was surprised to see that her friend's face showed a mix of happiness and worry. "Maya," Zara said, gently excusing herself from the group of well-wishers. "Yes, we really do need to talk, privately." They walked to a quiet spot by the flowing crystal stream where they had spent so many peaceful afternoons together. But today, the atmosphere felt completely different. Zara seemed nervous, and Maya was becoming more anxious by the minute. "Zara, please tell me what's happening," Maya said, sitting down on their favorite crystal bench. "I woke up this morning and my entire hallway was filled with gifts. Everyone in the city is acting like I did something amazing last night. Did I accidentally break some rule during the ceremony? Did I mess something up?" Zara took a deep breath and sat down beside Maya. For a long moment, she just stared at the flowing water, as if gathering courage to speak. "Maya," Zara finally said, her voice very soft and serious. "What do you think happened last night during the ceremony?" "I participated in your beautiful bonding of souls ritual," Maya replied. "You taught me the movements, I followed along, and then we had that incredible moment with the golden light. It was the most amazing thing I've ever experienced." Zara nodded slowly. "And what did you think the bonding of souls ceremony was for?" Maya felt a strange flutter of nervousness in her stomach. "You said it was your most sacred ritual, that it creates connections between souls. I assumed it was like a blessing ceremony or maybe a coming-of-age ritual." Zara closed her eyes for a moment, and when she opened them again, Maya could see they were filled with concern. "Maya, the bonding of souls ceremony isn't just any sacred ritual, it's our marriage ceremony." The words hit Maya like a physical blow. She felt like all the air had been sucked out of her lungs. "What did you just say?" "In our culture, the bonding of souls is how two people become life partners," Zara explained gently. "When two beings join hands and create the golden light, together they are married in the eyes of our society and the universe. It's considered the most sacred bond possible." Maya stared at Zara in complete shock. Her mind was racing, trying to process what she had just heard. "Are you telling me that last night I accidentally got married?" "According to our customs, yes," Zara said quietly. "Maya, I am so sorry. I thought you understood. When I invited you to participate in the ceremony, I assumed you knew what it meant. I never intended to trick you or force you into anything." Maya stood up abruptly and began pacing back and forth. "This can't be happening. This has to be some kind of misunderstanding. I'm here as a researcher, not to get married to anyone, especially not accidentally." "I know this is a shock," Zara said, standing up too. "But Maya, you have to understand. In our culture, the ceremony only works if both participants are willing. The golden light only appears when there is a true spiritual connection between two souls. The fact that it happened means that on some level, your heart was open to the bond." Maya stopped pacing and stared at Zara. "What are you saying? That I wanted to marry you without realizing it?" "I'm saying that maybe your soul recognized something that your mind hadn't processed yet," Zara replied carefully. "The connection we've felt these past months, the way we understand each other, the comfort and joy we find in each other's company. These aren't accidents, Maya." Maya felt her cheeks burning. She couldn't deny that she had developed strong feelings for Zara over the past few months, but she had pushed those feelings aside, telling herself they were just the result of being in a strange place far from home. "But this changes everything," Maya said, her voice rising with panic. "My career, my life on Earth, my family. What am I supposed to tell them? That I accidentally married an alien during a research project? I understand this is overwhelming, Zara said, stepping closer to Maya. And I want you to know that if you truly cannot accept this bond, there are ways to dissolve it. It would be difficult and unprecedented, but it's possible. Maya felt tears forming in her eyes. Zara, this isn't about you. You're wonderful, and these past months have been the happiest of my life. But I never planned for this. I never thought about spending my life on another planet. Before Zara could respond, Maya's communication device started beeping urgently. She looked at the screen and saw that she had 17 missed calls from her research supervisor on Earth. Oh no, Maya whispered. They know. She answered the call, and her supervisor's face appeared on the screen, looking both fascinated and concerned. Maya, we're getting reports that you participated in some kind of alien marriage ceremony. Please tell me this is just a misunderstanding. Maya looked at Zara, then back at the screen. It's complicated, Dr. Wilson. I can explain everything. You need to return to Earth immediately for debriefing, Dr. Wilson said. This could have serious diplomatic implications. We need to understand exactly what happened and what it means for human-Zephyrian relations. After Maya ended the call, she and Zara sat in silence for several minutes. The weight of the situation was starting to sink in for both of them. What happens now? Maya asked quietly. I don't know, Zara admitted. No one has ever been in this situation before. You're the first human to accidentally participate in our marriage ceremony. Both of our peoples are probably trying to figure out what this means. Maya looked at Zara, really looked at her. This beautiful, patient, kind being who had become so important to her over the past months. The thought of never seeing her again made Maya's heart ache, but the thought of staying and building a life so far from everything she had ever known was terrifying. I need time to think, Maya said finally. I understand, Zara replied. But Maya, whatever you decide, I want you to know that these months with you have been the most meaningful of my life. Accident or not, the connection we share is real, as Maya walked back to her quarters through a city full of Zephyrians who now considered her married to one of their own. She realized that she had a choice to make that would determine the rest of her life, and she had no idea what the right answer was. The next few weeks were the most difficult of Maya's life. She felt like she was being pulled in 1,000 different directions, with everyone wanting something from her. Her supervisors on Earth were calling constantly, asking detailed questions about Zephyrian culture and what her accidental marriage might mean for future diplomatic relations. Meanwhile, the Zephyrian community was treating her like a celebrity, with people stopping her on the street to offer congratulations and advice. Maya's family back on Earth had mixed reactions when she finally worked up the courage to tell them what had happened. Her mother cried for 2 hours, asking repeatedly if Maya was safe and when she was coming home. Her father, ever the practical engineer, wanted to understand exactly how the ceremony worked and whether it was legally binding according to human law. Her younger brother thought it was the coolest thing that had ever happened and kept asking if he could visit an alien planet too. Maya, sweetheart, her mother said during one of their video calls, I just don't understand how this happened. You went there to study their culture, not to get married. I know, Mom, Maya replied, feeling exhausted from having to explain the situation over and over again. It was a complete accident. I thought I was just observing a ceremony. But do you love her? Her mother asked quietly. This Zara person? Because that's what really matters, isn't it? Maya was quiet for a long moment. It was the question she had been avoiding asking herself. I don't know. Maybe. Everything is so complicated right now. Her career was also in jeopardy. Some of her colleagues thought her accidental marriage was fascinating from an anthropological perspective and wanted her to write papers about cross-cultural relationships. But others questioned whether she could still be objective in her research now that she was personally involved with Zephyrian society. A few even suggested that she had somehow planned the whole thing to get attention. Dr. Chen, her department head said during a formal review meeting, while we appreciate the unique perspective you've gained, we're concerned about your ability to maintain professional boundaries. How can you study a culture objectively when you're married into it? Maya felt frustrated and hurt. I didn't choose the situation, and my research has been thorough and unbiased. You can review all my reports. We're not questioning your past work, he replied, but moving forward, we need to consider whether this relationship compromises your position as a cultural researcher. Meanwhile, Zara was dealing with her own challenges. Some members of the Zephyrian Council weren't sure what to make of the situation either. While they respected the sacred nature of the bonding ceremony, they had never dealt with an accidental marriage to an alien before. My people are asking many questions, Zara told Maya as they walked through the Crystal Gardens one evening. Some wonder if the ceremony was valid since you didn't understand its meaning. Others say that the golden light proved the bond was real, regardless of your intentions. What do you think? Maya asked. Zara was quiet for a moment. I think that what we feel for each other is real, whether the ceremony was planned or not. But I also know that forcing someone to stay in a relationship they don't want is wrong, no matter what our customs say. Maya appreciated Zara's understanding, but it also made her decision harder. If Zara had been pushy or demanding, it would have been easier to walk away. But Zara's kindness and patience only made Maya care for her more. The media attention was overwhelming too. News outlets on both planets had picked up the story, and Maya found herself being called the woman who accidentally married an alien in headlines across the galaxy. Reporters kept trying to interview her, and she had to be careful whenever. She left the research station to avoid being followed. This is crazy, Maya complained to Zara after hiding from a particularly persistent journalist. I never wanted to be famous. I just wanted to study cultures and maybe write some academic papers. Fame can be difficult, Zara agreed, but perhaps some good can come from this attention. Many Zephyrians are excited about the possibility of closer relationships with humans. Your situation has opened conversations that might not have happened otherwise. During the long, sleepless nights, Maya found herself thinking deeply about what she really wanted from life. Before coming to Kepler 442b, her plan had been simple: complete her research, return to Earth, get a teaching position at a university, and build a quiet academic career. But now she couldn't imagine her life without Zara in it. She started spending more time learning about Zephyrian marriage customs. She discovered that their concept of partnership was different from human marriage in many ways. Zephyrian couples were expected to support each other's individual growth while building a spiritual connection that lasted beyond death. They believed that true partners helped each other become the best versions of themselves. In our culture, Zara explained one day, marriage isn't about owning another person or even living the same life. It's about two souls choosing to grow together while honoring each other's unique path. Maya found this perspective refreshing compared to some of the more restrictive ideas about marriage she had grown up with on Earth. But she was still scared about what choosing this life would mean for her future. The turning point came when Maya received a message from Dr. Wilson, her supervisor. Instead of the usual demands for reports and explanations, this message was different. Maya, Dr. Wilson said in the video message, I've been thinking a lot about your situation. I know this hasn't been easy for you, and I want you to know that whatever you decide, the university will support you. If you choose to stay on Kepler 442b, we'd be honored to have you continue your research as our permanent cultural liaison. Your work has been invaluable, and this unique situation could actually open doors for future collaboration between our species. Maya felt a wave of relief. At least her career didn't have to end if she chose to stay. But the biggest surprise came from her family. During their next video call, her mother looked directly into the camera and said, Maya, your father and I have been talking. We've never seen you as happy as you've been these past months. Even with all the stress and confusion, there's something different about you. You seem more confident, more sure of yourself. What are you saying, Mom? We're saying that if this Zara makes you happy, and if you love her, then we support whatever decision you make. We just want you to be happy, even if it means you're farther away from us than we'd like. Maya felt tears streaming down her face. But what if I make the wrong choice? What if I stay and regret it? Or leave and spend the rest of my life wondering, what could have been? Sweetheart, her father said, there's no such thing as a perfect choice. But from what you've told us about Zara, she sounds like a wonderful person. And the work you're doing there is important. Maybe this accident was the universe's way of showing you a path you never would have considered otherwise. That night, Maya sat alone on her balcony looking up at the twin moons that had witnessed her accidental marriage ceremony. She thought about everything she would be giving up if she stayed. Her old life, her family nearby, the familiar comfort of Earth. But she also thought about everything she would be gaining, a love unlike anything she had ever experienced. Important work that could bridge two worlds, and the chance to be part of something bigger than herself. For the first time since learning the truth about the ceremony, Maya felt a sense of peace settling over her. She knew what she had to do, but she also knew it would be the biggest leap of faith she had ever taken. Tomorrow, she would tell Zara her decision, and whatever happened next, she would face it with courage and hope. Maya woke up the next morning with a strange sense of calm. After weeks of worry and confusion, she finally knew what she was going to do. The decision hadn't come in a dramatic moment or sudden revelation. It had grown slowly in her heart, like one of the glowing flowers in Zara's garden. She found Zara by the crystal stream where they had shared so many important conversations. Zara was sitting quietly, her silver hair catching the morning light as she watched the water flow over the sparkling stones. She looked peaceful, but also sad, as if she was preparing herself for goodbye. Zara, Maya said softly, sitting down beside her. I've made my decision. Zara looked up, her purple eyes showing both hope and fear. And what have you decided? Maya took a deep breath. I want to stay. I want to honor our marriage bond. But I want to do it on our terms, both human and Zephyrian terms. The relief and joy that spread across Zara's face was more beautiful than any of the magical lights Maya had seen on this planet. Are you sure? This is a huge choice, Maya. I don't want you to feel pressured or to regret it later. I'm sure, Maya said, reaching for Zara's hands. These past few weeks made me realize something important. I wasn't happy with my old life. I was just comfortable. Coming here, meeting you, learning about your culture, it's changed me in ways I never expected. I don't want to go back to being the person I was before. Zara squeezed Maya's hands gently. But what about your family? Your career on Earth? Maya smiled. That's the beautiful part. I don't have to choose between my old life and my new one. I can create something that honors both. I want us to have a proper human wedding ceremony too, so that our marriage is recognized by both our peoples. And I want to split our time between both planets so I can maintain my relationships on Earth while building our life together here. That sounds wonderful, Zara said. But is it really possible? The travel between planets is expensive and complicated. Dr. Wilson already offered me a permanent position as cultural liaison, Maya explained. The university wants to establish a formal exchange program between Earth and Kepler 442b. I would be traveling back and forth regularly anyway. And Zara, think about what this could mean. We could be the first interspecies couple to really bridge our two worlds. Over the next few months, Maya and Zara worked together to plan something that had never been done before, a wedding that honored both human and Zephyrian traditions. It wasn't easy. They had to navigate complex diplomatic protocols, cultural differences, and the logistics of bringing Maya's family to another planet. Maya's mother was nervous about space travel, but her excitement about meeting Zara overcame her fears. "I've never been to another planet," she said during one of their planning calls. "But if that's where my daughter is building her life, then that's where I need to be." The Zephyrian Council was fascinated by human wedding customs. They had never seen anything like wedding rings or wedding cakes, and they were curious about the tradition of exchanging vows. Meanwhile, Maya's human colleagues were amazed by Zephyrian ceremonies and wanted to document everything for future research. "This is incredible," said Dr. Peterson, one of Maya's former professors who had traveled to Kepler 442b for the wedding. "You're not just getting married, you're creating a new model for interspecies cooperation." The wedding itself was magical beyond anything Maya could have imagined. The ceremony took place in the Grand Amphitheater, where she had accidentally gotten married months before, but this time the space was decorated with both glowing Zephyrian crystals and traditional Earth flowers that had been specially transported from her home planet. Maya wore a dress that combined human wedding traditions with Zephyrian design, white silk like her grandmother's wedding dress, but with threads of crystal woven throughout that caught the light of the twin moons. Zara wore traditional Zephyrian ceremonial robes, but she had added a small white flower from Earth as a symbol of their blended cultures. The ceremony itself was beautiful chaos. Maya's family sat next to Zephyrian elders, all trying to understand each other's customs. Maya's brother kept taking pictures of everything, amazed by the crystal architecture and glowing plants. Her father had brought a traditional Earth wedding gift, a hand-carved wooden box, which the Zephyrians found fascinating since they rarely worked with wood. "Do you, Maya, take Zara to be your partner in this life and beyond?" asked the officiant, a wise Zephyrian elder who had learned English specifically for this ceremony. "I do," Maya said, her voice strong and clear. "And do you, Zara, choose Maya as your soul's companion across time and space?" "I choose her with all my heart," Zara replied in English, though her accent made the words sound like music. When they joined hands for the second time, the same golden light appeared as before, but this time, Maya understood exactly what it meant. She wasn't just participating in a beautiful ceremony. She was choosing to bind her life to someone who had become the most important person in her universe. The celebration afterward was unlike anything either planet had ever seen. Zephyrians shared their glowing foods with humans, while Maya's family introduced everyone to Earth music and dancing. Maya's mother spent the entire evening talking with Zara's family, somehow managing to communicate through gestures and smiles, even though they didn't speak the same language. "This is what the future looks like," Maya whispered to Zara as they watched their families from two different worlds laughing and celebrating together. Not just tolerance or cooperation, but real understanding and love. In the months that followed, Maya and Zara's unusual marriage became a symbol of hope for both planets. Their story inspired other cultural exchange programs, and several more humans came to study on Kepler 442b, while some Zephyrians visited Earth for the first time. Maya continued her anthropological work, but now with a perspective that no other researcher could match. She was no longer just studying Zephyrian culture. She was living it while still maintaining her human identity. Her papers about interspecies relationships and cultural adaptation became required reading in universities across the galaxy. "Know what the strangest part is?" Maya said to Zara one evening as they sat on their balcony, watching the stars. "I came here thinking I was going to study your people and then return to my normal life. But instead, I found something I didn't even know I was looking for." "What's that?" Zara asked, leaning against Maya's shoulder. "Home," Maya said simply. "Not a place, but a person, a connection that makes me feel complete no matter which planet we're on." Zara smiled. "Our people have a saying. The soul knows its path even when the mind is lost. Maybe your soul brought you here because it knew what your heart needed." As Maya looked out at the vast expanse of stars, She thought about how much her life had changed from that first nervous day when she arrived on Kepler 442b. She had come seeking knowledge and ended up finding love. She had planned to observe a culture and ended up becoming part of it. Most importantly, she had learned that sometimes the most beautiful discoveries happen when we're brave enough to step into the unknown. "What are you thinking about?" Zara asked. Maya turned to look at her wife, her partner across 2 worlds and countless stars. "I'm thinking about how lucky I am that I made that one mistake that changed everything." "Was it really a mistake?" Zara asked with a knowing smile. Maya thought about it for a moment, then laughed. "You know what? I don't think it was. I think it was exactly what was supposed to happen. Sometimes the universe has better plans for us than we have for ourselves." And as the twin moons rose over their crystal city, Maya knew that whatever challenges the future might bring, she and Zara would face them together. 2 souls from different worlds who had found their way to each other among the stars.